Yeah, hi. Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our free webinar today. Today's subject will be covered by Teacher Ken. Teacher Ken is our HRDS certified trainer. So now I pass to you, Teacher Ken.
All right, thank you so much, Shiu. All right,
You're
now
welcome.
good morning, everyone. Thank you for that lovely introduction. Now I'm just going to share my screen over here. Yeah. Okay, hi, good morning, everyone. Hey, as you can see from the screen, my name is Teacher Ken, and I professionally I'm called Teacher Ken. A lot of my clients call me Teacher Ken, but my real name is Pang Chui Ken. And over here, I am actually a corporate trainer who is focusing on building rapport and connections. So this leads to sales and marketing, self-love, happiness, and stress management, family and parenting. And over here on the screen, you can go and see some of my very treasured clients, which I've accumulated over my years of practice. Yeah, I'm very happy to have them. All right, so now before we begin, I would just like to wish everyone a very warm welcome. I hope that you had your breakfast and I hope that you're having a very lovely and productive day because I am certainly having a very smashing good time over here. Yeah? Thank you to Excel Academy for hosting this. All right, so now let's take a look at the number of participants. All right, okay, so now let's go ahead and I want to go and tell you a very important story which has greatly impacted my life. All right, so now this has really changed the way I look at life, the way I apply myself in life, and the way I go and regulate my own emotions. Yeah. So everyone, please pay attention over here because this is a very profound story. And over here, the hero of this story is someone called Matt Killingsworth. He is a PhD in psychology at Harvard University. And over here, okay, we should really be calling him Dr. Matt Killingsworth. Dr. Matt Killingsworth. All right, so now why is Dr. Matt Killingsworth very important to this story? Let's go straight into it. Now, in 2013, Dr. Matt Killingsworth had a hypothesis. He theorized, right, he has this theory that certain things cause us to be very sad every day and certain things cause us to be very happy every day. All right. So now in 2013, he decided to go and put his hypothesis to the test. So he developed an app with his team. Okay, he developed an app, and then he got 15,000 people from 80 different countries to go and download the app. All right. So now different people from different income groups, different people from different genders, different people from different backgrounds and poverty levels. Yeah. So you had really rich people downloading the app. You had really poor people downloading the app. You have guys, you have girls, you have old people, you have young people who are downloading the app. All right. So now in this app, it was very simple. He asked 3 questions. And over here, I'm going to tell you the first 2 questions. The first 2 questions he asked, okay, all the participants was, number 1, okay, how do you feel? So at random times of the day, right? If you have downloaded the app, you would go and get this question, how do you feel? And so you are supposed to go and vote how you feel on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being, I feel absolutely miserable, please kill me now. All right, if you feel that bad, go and vote 0. All right, if you feel normal, just gonna vote 5. But if you're feeling super happy, super alive, I'm so grateful to be alive, go and vote 10. All right, so that was the first question. People from different countries will go and get it at random times of the day. So number 1 is how do you feel? Number 2, when you receive this message, when you receive this first question, what were you doing? Okay, so now over here, what is Dr. Killingsworth and his team trying to establish? What he's trying to establish is, what daily activities causes people to feel 0? What daily activities cause people to go and feel 10? What daily activities make us sad? What daily activities make us super happy? All right, so now over here, let's go to our first activity. I want everyone to have a deep think about it. Write down 2 daily activities which you think make us very sad, and 2 daily activities you think which make us really happy. And over here, I'm just going to provide you guys with some talking points here, okay? Most people, in the thousands of participants I've trained by now, most people say, oh, you know, paying bills makes me very sad, working makes me very sad, getting stuck in a jam makes me very sad. Now, what are the daily activities which make people very happy? So far, out of the thousands of people, people will go and say something like chatting with friends or eating good food or spending time with their children, for example. Sebagai contoh. Now, I want you guys to go and share with me in the chat 2 things which make you sad, 2 things which make you happy. Don't go and write things like break up. Okay, break up is not daily activity. Please, I really sincerely hope that you guys are not going through a breakup every day. All right. Don't go and write things like promotion, because promotion is not things which happen every day also. All right. Promotion is also not things which happen every day. But paying bills, we can go and treat it as a daily activity. All right. Okay, so now everyone go and take 1 minute to go and think about what makes you really sad, what makes you really happy. All right. And after this, I'm going to tell you why is all of this relevant to, to the topic of today, which is how to go and make people like you. How do you attract them into a receptive mood? Yeah. But first of all, let's do this. All right. Now, who can go and tell me what daily activities make you really sad? Hey, if you guys don't know what daily activities make you sad, okay, this is an invitation for you to go and have a deeper thought about yourself, right? You need to go and think about what you like and what you don't like. Yeah? Come. Any contributions? Any suggestions from the audience? What makes you sad every day? What makes you happy every day? All right, so now the comments are flowing in. Thank you so much. Okay, so now let's go and write what makes us sad in red color, and we're going to put it up here. Thank you, Ganapati. All right, loss of income in business. Okay, good. All right, so Ghana, all right, okay, you seem to be really focused on business, and that's a very good thing. Okay. All right, come, let's keep the ideas flowing in. What else makes us happy and what else makes us sad on a day-to-day basis? Oh no, Anik. Okay, waking up makes you waking up late. What else? What makes us sad? What makes us happy, guys? Right, have a deep think about it. Go and share with us. Thank you, Mr. Ganapati. So eating, yes. Okay, a lot of people do feel happy when they are eating good food. Actually, right, okay, this is something quite interesting, yeah, right? A lot of people feel that they don't have control over whether or not they're happy, right? They are not sure whether or not they can make themselves happy. Well, let me tell you this, okay? At least 3 times in a day, right? You have complete control over how you feel. And that is what I call breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All right? You can absolutely, regardless of what income level you are, you can buy something which you want to eat. All right, so now for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you really have no excuse to be miserable, guys, okay? You are in complete control of how you feel at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But over here, I'm trying to go and help everyone be a bit happier at any point of the day. All right, so come, continue. What daily activities do you think make us the saddest? What daily activities do you think make us the happiest? 1 or 2 more suggestions, please. Let's go and see. Sad when you don't have your morning coffee. I understand that, Roger, right? I am very empathetic to that. Morning coffee and tea is very important, okay? All right, to all the participants who just joined us, I think there was a flood of people who just joined us. All right, just to go and let you know, over here we are discussing this scientist. His name is Dr. Matt Killingsworth. And over here, he conducted a study in 2013. And he asked people, what daily activities make you saddest? What daily activities make you happiest? Yeah. Okay, so now Cynthia says that. Thank you very much, Cynthia. Receiving messages of the news of mishaps on the road. Okay, all right. Okay, receiving bad news. Very good. And Gayatri over here is very wise. She has gone ahead and go and say it, okay? When we can go home early. Marlena is very realistic. She's straight away going to say, getting salary, very good. Okay, me too. I do feel very happy when I get my salary. Okay, so now thank you everyone for contributing. Thanks for kicking off this discussion on a very high note. Over here, we have taken a look at some of the common reasons why people get very upset all the time. Okay, thank you. So now let's move on. And this is very important, guys. So now, Dr. Matt Killingsworth, when he received all the results from his large survey, 650,000 data points, so this is a very accurate survey, he was absolutely shocked. Why? Because as it turns out, the #1 daily activity which makes us the saddest is, drum roll, guys, what do you think? The #1 daily activity which makes us the saddest is actually brushing our teeth. The #2 daily activity which makes us saddest is taking a bath. Now, you see, in most of the workshops I've been, when the video cameras are on, I can really see the shock on people's faces. People generally do not understand why is it that brushing our teeth and taking a bath make us so sad. And let me tell you guys, okay, at this point of time, I've trained thousands of participants already. Out of the thousands of participants, right, only one person has gotten this answer correct. And over here, this person answered taking a bath. He knows that whenever he takes a bath, he's very, very sad. And I immediately sent him to the professionals. I sent him to my panel of psychologists and therapists. All right. And fortunately, we managed to go and catch it on time. He's feeling much better today. Now, why is it that when we are brushing our teeth and taking a bath, we feel so sad? And Dr. Matt Killingsworth was so surprised at the results. So he decided to go and send out a third question. He experimented with a few questions, and finally he decided that this one was the most accurate one. Are you thinking about something else besides what you are doing? Yes. Okay, now the reason why people feel so sad when they're brushing their teeth or when they're taking a bath is because when we are brushing our teeth, when we are taking a bath, kita memang ada banyak ruangan. We have a lot of time and we have a lot of space to fikir yang bukan-bukan. So now for those listeners, for those audience members who do not understand Malay, okay, it is because when we're brushing our teeth and when we're taking a bath, we have a lot of time to go and overthink, to mind wandering. Okay, not wonder, not W-O-N-D-E-R, no, not wandering. It's different. We are talking about wandering, okay? That means your mind, you're not in control of your mind. You're thinking about all types of things which are not good for you when you're brushing your teeth and when you're taking a bath. Okay, so now some people go and say that they're very sad when they're stuck in a jam. Yes, because when you're stuck in a jam, you are also not paying attention. You are mind wandering, you're fikir and bukan-bukan, right? So now that's why. If you guys think about it, right, it's true, you know, right? Most people, when you're working, right, you're not sad. Why aren't you sad when you're working? It is because most of the time you're focused. When do you become sad? When you go for toilet break, when you go to pantry to go and chat with your friends, when you go home and you start thinking about how bad your work is, then only you become sad, right? But when you're actually working, you're not sad. Unless if your work is very, very easy, you have nothing to do. Perhaps, you know, like for example, being someone, a customer service representative, you have to wait for the phone to call. And while you're waiting, you have nothing to do. Then yes, maybe you will go and think, you'll go and start thinking. But when you're actually answering the phone, no, you're not very sad. All right, so now over here, Dr. Matt Killingsworth and his team established a few things. The most important of which is, if you want to be happy, you have to go and start staying in the present. You have to go and start living in the moment. All right, because mind wandering makes you really, really unhappy. All right, so now, second thing, he also established, very important, that our thoughts immediately become our feelings. What we think about will immediately result in an appropriate feeling. If you're thinking happy thoughts, you will have happy feelings. If you're thinking thoughts which are not very helpful to you, you will have unhelpful feelings, you have negative feelings. And over here, here's a very important thing which I also want to emphasize at this point of time, ladies and gentlemen, is that even if you're thinking about happy memories, that means you're thinking about things in the past which are not sad, which are happy. Sebagai contoh, if I think about, last time I went to Japan with my ex-girlfriend, for example. Wow, that's supposed to be a happy memory, right? But the way our brains work is very funny. We don't go and stop at one thought only. All right, we will continue to go and think and think and think. So then I will start to go and think, last time can go to Japan, so nice. Now MCO, I cannot, I'm stuck in Malaysia. Then I'll continue to think, I wonder how is my ex-girlfriend doing? And then, is she with another guy? Is there something wrong with me? Am I very unlovable? Why am I so miserable? That's the way the human brain thinks, right? So now, that's why even if you're thinking about a happy past, a happy memory, you will compare it to the present. And that's why you won't be very happy. How about thinking about happy things in the future? All right, we love to go and do this all the time. We like to go and say, if only I have 1 million ringgit, then I can finally be happy. Or we like to go and think, if only I had a girlfriend, then I can finally be happy. Or we like to go and think, if only my wife talked to me in a certain way, then I can be happier. But all of that is actually what? You're actually putting conditions onto your happiness today. You are giving yourself a condition to be happy, when actually, if you can just focus and enjoy doing what you're doing now, you will be much happier. All right, so now, there we go. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in my line of work, right, I am very, very lucky because in this line of work, I have talked to many, many coaches, to many, many gurus, law of attraction gurus also, philosophers, feng shui masters, ustazas, Islamic scholars, right, priests, NLP coaches and psychologists, they can all agree on one thing, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And that is we immediately become what we think about. We become what we think about. And that's why over here, Rene Descartes, many, many centuries ago, he came up with a very, very wise saying, I think, therefore I am. All right, so now over here, to become happy, right, we really need to learn to breathe. We really need to learn to love. And the key word over here, I want all of you to go and take away is this word called appreciation. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, I spent maybe 15 minutes already, okay, talking to you guys about happiness and self-love. But what is the topic of today? Who can go and remind me what is the topic of today? Who is the topic? What is the topic of today? What are we supposed to be talking about today? All right, thank you very much, Hugh. Okay, we are talking about how to make anyone like you. How do we attract people into a receptive mode? Now, there are many, many reasons why you would want people to go and like you, yeah? Okay, you might be a salesperson, you might be a frontliner, you might be a customer service representative, you might be a marketing person, you might be a head of department who is trying to get the buy-in of your team, or maybe you're trying to get a board of directors to increase your head count, all right? Or you might be a single person who is trying to go and get a suitable partner, or perhaps you feel a bit lonely and you want to go and make more friends, and all of that is fine, right? Now, whatever it is, okay, yes, getting people to like you is a very fundamental and very essential part of life. Now, if you can go and get people to go and start to go and like you, if you can go and easily put people into a receptive mode to your products or to your ideas, you're going to find that life is very, very, very smooth. Life is going to be very effortless. But over here, I want to go and pull you back to a bit of science, okay, guys? Now, in the 1930s, we're talking about 1930s, okay? Researchers at Yale actually did this experiment, okay? Yale University, okay, very famous university in the United States. They did this experiment. All right, they started to go and measure eggs. They did a study on eggs, right? Eggs, and eggs are, the lola. And they realized, right, when they go hooked up electrometers to the eggs, they realized one thing: no matter what type of egg it is, it can be a chicken egg, it can be a duck egg, it can be a crocodile egg. Yeah, okay. When they go and put the electrometer to the top of the egg, right, the top of the egg is always the head of the chick. It's always the head one. Right now, the bottom of the egg is always the tail. All right, and here's the very, very interesting thing they discovered, okay, guys? So this is an egg, yeah, okay? The top is always positive. The bottom is always negative. The head of the egg is always the top. The bottom of the egg, the negative, is always the tail. And they realized that around every egg, there was an electromagnet, right? There was a magnetic field. So now here's the thing, okay, ladies and gentlemen, okay? I am not qualified to talk about the law of attraction. There are many, many other coaches and trainers who are very, very qualified to talk about that. If you're interested in that, I think you can definitely look up some NLP coaches. But here's the thing, all right? Science has actually established that your thoughts, right? Your thoughts result in your feelings, and your feelings, okay, result in a stronger or weaker electromagnetic field. Yes, this was also quite upsetting to me when I realized it, okay, because all along I thought that law of attraction is a very mystical thing, right? But it's actually been proven by quantum science and electromagnetic science over here. Yeah? Okay, so now the big takeaway here is this, all right? You are not going to give people a good time if you are not having a good time. All right, so that is so important that I'm going to write it down again, okay? You are not going to give people a good time if you are not having a good time. All right, so now, no matter what happens outside, no matter what happens externally, okay, you need to have a party inside yourself. You need to have the most happening party inside yourself so that people will want to join your party. So that's how it works. All right, and that's why I spent a lot of time talking about self-love and how to go and put yourself into a very happy, excited, high vibration, high energy mood so that people will want to come to your party. All right, come, let's talk about this here, okay? And let me go and clear the screen over here. As I've mentioned, okay, our body has two modes. The first one is called survival mode, All right. And the second one is what we call an elevated state. Yeah, all right. Scientists have established this. Now, what is survival mode? A survival mode is when our primary emotions are stress, guilt, regret, resentment, and anger. So now, when our body is in this mode, we produce a lot of chemical called cortisol. Right, cortisol. Some of you may have heard of it. Now, the opposite of a survival mode is something called an elevated mode, and this is where we feel a lot of love, a lot of hope, a lot of joy, a lot of bliss, a lot of gratefulness, a lot of appreciation. Now, generally speaking, okay, all right, the problem with most people is that we wake up and immediately our first thought is to go and think about our problems or our to-do list of all the difficult things we have to do today. And straight away when we wake up, we immediately knock our bodies into a survival mode already. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when we are in a survival mode, we are unable to influence people. Because when we are in survival mode, the body resists change. We don't want to change. And when we don't want to change, we cannot grow. When we don't want to grow, we cannot influence people. To really, really influence people, to really get people to like you, we have to go and try to go and put our body into an elevated state, right? I mean, this is very, very commonsensical when we think about it. We all want to be near people who radiate a lot of love, who can give you their undivided attention, who are showing a lot of hope and bliss, right? These are people we want to be with. Why? Because when you're next to them, you feel important. When you're next to them, they'll be very excited to go and ask you, hey, how's your day? Tell me about you, right? Tell me how I can help you. We all want to be next to people like that. But unfortunately, when we are in a survival state, we are not in that position to go and influence other people. All right, so now over here, let me go and talk a bit about self-love and why is it so important to have self-love, so that you can go and start attracting people, so that you can go and start making people really, really like you. So now, as I mentioned before, the truth is a lot of us have a lot of resentment, like anger, stress, and anxiety trapped in the body. The problem is we are not even sure. So now the first things first, okay, guys, I want you guys to go and imagine. Now, where is your resentment, anger, stress, and anxiety stored in your body? For me, when I feel stressed or when I feel anxious, it is stored in my gut, or what people call the stomach. Different people are different. Some people feel a lot of stress, anger in their brain, around their minds over here, around their head. Some people say their shoulders. A lot of my participants say their neck. Some people say their chest. They feel that their chest is stuck, right? But for me, when I feel unwell, when I'm feeling anxious, it's all in my stomach. So now, first things first, why don't you guys go and share with me? Where are your negative feelings stored? Where are your negative feelings stored in your body? Right, Serena, where are your negative feelings stored in your body? Sorry. Or Mr. Ghana, where are your negative feelings stored in your body? In the head, yeah. Okay, yep. So a lot of people do go and report that they feel a lot of stress in the head region, in the mind, yeah. Weikiat. Hey, okay, Weikiat, this is quite interesting, yeah. Okay, when you say mind, where is your mind actually? Is it in your brain area, or is it in your upper torso, for example? All right, so that's very interesting. Your mind, right? Okay, it's not your mind. You will realize that it's not just in your brain. Okay, it is actually in every cell in your body. But anyway, come, let's go. Let's move on. Yeah. All right. So now, however, when you start to go into an elevated state, when you start to love yourself, when you start to appreciate the beautiful things in life, when you start to go and give yourself a bit more attention, all right, the body produces this lovely, lovely chemical called oxytocin. All right, so now, why is oxytocin so important? Because oxytocin will signal nitric oxide, and nitric oxide will go and signal something called EDRF, which is endothelin derived relaxation factor. Now, oxytocin is the feeling you get when you hug a kitten. Oxytocin is a feeling you get when your loved one hugs you, when someone pats you on the head. Now, if any of you are mothers over here, if you have been pregnant before, you would realize that during your pregnancy, it was the happiest time of your life. Why? Because the body produces a lot of oxytocin when you're pregnant, when you're hugging someone. Essentially, when you have oxytocin flooding your heart will literally swell. It will become bigger. All your arteries will expand and you feel amazing, guys. All right, so now over here, the trick is how do you go and produce oxytocin by yourself? All right, now let me go and tell you, it is entirely possible to go and produce oxytocin by yourself without needing to go and hug someone else. All right, you can visualize it. And over here, this is one of the things I teach. I teach people how to go and produce oxytocin by themselves. And when you're so happy, when you're so full of gratitude, when you're so much at ease, other people will always notice. They will always notice it and they'll feel that, wow, this person is very easy to talk to. Whatever I say to this person understands. He understands me. Whenever I'm next to this person, I feel so much energy. His energy is infectious, right? His energy is infectious. And when you're so happy with yourself, when you're so much oxytocin in your heart, you're constantly at ease. And over here, when the oxytocin gets into the amygdala, what's the amygdala? The amygdala is a part of your brain which is responsible for stress responses, right? And when this oxytocin gets into your amygdala, okay, you are incapable of feeling stress and anxiety because you are so full of feelings of gratitude, of appreciation. You will start to go and think that, wow, I don't ever want to lose this feeling. And yes, you become really, really attractive. Now, over here, it is 9:26. I want to go and invest a few minutes into telling you about some of the 4 very, very important chemicals in our body. Yeah. All right. So now, earlier, I said that when you're stressed, we get a chemical called cortisol, right? All right. So now, there are, on the other hand, okay, fortunately, we have 4 chemicals which make us feel very, very happy. These are called the very happiness chemicals. Now, who can go and tell me what are the 4 of them? Yeah, the first one I've told you already is oxytocin. And oxytocin is generally known as the love chemical. Yeah, okay. Now, when you produce a lot of this love chemical in your brain and in your heart, then you become very, very irresistible. You become irresistible. Everyone wants to join your party. Everyone wants to get a piece of you, right? You become really, really attractive because people can feel your magnetic field. When you are filled with oxytocin, your head starts generating a very, very strong magnetic field. All right, so now how do you go and get oxytocin? I've already explained already. You can go and get it through getting pregnant. Now, please don't go and get pregnant just to go and get oxytocin. All right, now that's a very roundabout way. All right, by hugging others, handshakes, physical touch. But also, okay, you can go and produce your own oxytocin by visualizing yourself hugging something you love. So now, if everyone were to close their eyes and imagine, okay, now you're hugging a big bunch of money. Money is very universal, right? Everyone loves money. Because if I say, hey, go and hug a puppy, you might not like dogs, all right? Or go and hug a kitten, you might not like kittens. Go and hug a baby, you might not like babies, right? But everyone generally loves money. So imagine hugging yourself a lot of money and you can go and feel your heart slowly expanding. Right, so now why don't you guys go and try it? Close your eyes and imagine hugging a lot of money near to your heart. You will feel your heart becoming warmer and warmer, and you'll feel your heart becoming bigger and bigger, right? Your heart will start to go and fill with oxytocin. So that's how you're going to get oxytocin. So before every interaction with other people, try to go and visualize it a bit. Try to go and fill yourself up with appreciation. Put yourself in the mood where I am so lucky to be leading this training session with all of you today. Right? You will realize that you will start to fill up with oxytocin, and whatever person you're talking to is automatically going to be in a very good mood because you can go and give them your fullest attention. Right, so now that's oxytocin. Now, who can tell me what other chemicals are there which help us here, okay? Who can tell me, besides oxytocin, what other good chemicals are there which make us feel very, very good? All right, so now while we're waiting for the responses, remember this takeaway, yeah, okay? Before every interaction, whether it is with your potential customer, whether it is with your board of directors, whether it is with an angry customer, always go into the interaction with a sense of appreciation. Say, okay, I love you, right? I love having the chance to go and speak to you, right? I love the opportunities this interaction will bring. And when you can go and bring the air of appreciation around you, you produce a lot of oxytocin and people will be able to go and sense these pheromones from you. Yeah, and they will be put into a very receptive mood. All right, so now who else can go and tell me what other chemicals are there in the body which make us feel very good? No one knows? Hey, if you don't know, go and say don't know. All right, then I'm going to let you guys know now. Does anyone know or not? All right, now I'll give you guys a hint, okay? Now, there's one which is very famous. It is called dopamine. Okay. Wow, you guys don't know. All right, okay, so now dopamine. So now dopamine is the happiness chemical. And over here, you get dopamine by achieving goals, yeah. Ah, correct. Serotonin. Thank you very much. Another one, serotonin and Cynthia. Well done. Okay, so now dopamine is the happiness chemical, and you get dopamine when you achieve goals. Now, unfortunately, nowadays, the word dopamine has a bit of a negative consequence to it. Yeah. Why? Because dopamine is also responsible for addiction. Right? A lot of kids are getting addicted to their mobile devices, right? Why? Because when they go to play games, when they go to social media platforms, all right, these social media platforms and these games are purposely designed to go and give them rushes of dopamine whenever they level up in the game, all right, or whenever they get likes on social media. Then they feel a rush of dopamine. Now, this dopamine, they get addicted to it because they do not know how to get it from other places. Right, traditionally, how do we go and get dopamine? By achieving our goals. Let's say, like Amanila mentioned earlier, at the end of the month when she gets a salary, she feels very happy. Why? Because she's achieving a goal. She's achieving a landmark. She's getting into a milestone. So that will produce dopamine in the body, and that's why she feels happy. But children nowadays, they do not have that benefit. They don't understand how to get dopamine. The only way they know how to get dopamine is from playing games, you see. So that's why they become addicted to it. All right, so now the next one, as Cynthia has correctly said, serotonin. Yeah. Now, what is serotonin? Serotonin is actually a mood stabilizer. But more importantly, okay, this is what we call the law of attraction chemical. And over here, how do you go and get serotonin? Two ways, okay, like exercise and achieving small goals. All right, so now everyone remind me, okay, if we have extra time at the end of this session, please remind me to go and tell you the story of the lobsters, the lobster story. Okay, Amalina, go and write down in the chat. Okay, remind me to go and tell everyone the lobster story. And over here, serotonin is one of the chemicals which is very, very underrated. People don't really remember this chemical, but it is very, very important because serotonin makes you act and feel in a way which will go and bring further success to you. Your posture, the way you deal with people, the way you look at things is all moderated by this chemical called serotonin. All right, so it's very, very important. How do you go and get serotonin? You need to go and do light exercise, get some sunshine, and go and set small goals and achieve them. All right, now the last chemical I want to talk about is, of course, endorphins. Yeah, okay. So now, what is this endorphins? Endorphins is the anti-pain chemical. So now, let's say you're going through physical pain. Let's say you're injured, or let's say you're going through emotional pain. Again, all right, a very good example is let's say your girlfriend has dumped you, yeah? So you're going through emotional pain or you're going through physical pain. Now, the best way to go and manage that pain or to go and bounce back from that pain is to go and get endorphins. And how do you get endorphins? You go and do exercise, which makes you sweat, okay? Then you start producing the endorphins, and very soon you'll feel that pain start to go away. All right, so now over here, perhaps all of you want to go and take a screenshot of this because this is really, really important. When you understand that you are in charge of regulating your own chemicals and you know the ways to go and get your own chemicals, then that cortisol will start to be flooded over by the oxytocin. All right, so now the very, very fundamental point I'm trying to make here is that you are not able to go and give people a good time if you yourself are not having a good time. All right, so now very, very importantly, start producing some oxytocin today. Find out how is it that you can go and produce the oxytocin, get that feeling of appreciation before you go into every interaction. And soon you will find yourself becoming very, very irresistible to other people. Yeah. So please take a screenshot. If you have taken a screenshot, if this is helpful to you, go and type 8 in the chat so that I know to go on already. This is very, very important. Type 8 in the chat if you're taking a screenshot, if this is helpful to you, so that I can go and move on. All right. Thank you, everyone. Very good. Okay. Everyone else is ready, yeah? Okay. Good. All right. Come, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about this. Okay. So now, just a bit about myself. Now, I'm a barrister from the United bar counsel, right? That means I'm a lawyer from the United Kingdom. So I've been in the courtroom. I'm an investment banker. I've been in the boardroom. As a headmaster, I've been in the classroom. Now, but most importantly, what makes me so confident and so passionate to do and talk about all these topics is that I'm a single dad. That's why I've been in the diaper room. Now, over here on the left side, you can go and see my big son, okay, my eldest son. His name is Shin Kai. Over here, my youngest son, his name is Xing Shen. Now, because of the two of them, I'm very, very confident and I feel that I have the qualification to talk to you guys about establishing rapport, how to make anyone like you, right? Understanding human behavior, and of course, persuasion and negotiation. And over here, I really, really want to go and tell you guys about the law of connection. If you have joined me last week, I can go and see some familiar names from last week. Last week, I spent a lot of time to go and talk about something called the law of connection. Essentially, this is the biggest secret in getting people to like you. In addition to having an internal party, right? In addition to feeling good about yourself before you enter into any conversation or any interaction, you need to understand this law of connection. Now, what is this law of connection? Very, very simply put, all right? People don't care about how good you are. People don't care about how good your product is, okay? They don't care. The only thing they care about is whether or not you can speak to their needs or to their interests. All right, so now this is so important that I'm going to repeat it again with greater emphasis this time, okay? People don't care about how good your company is. People don't care about how good your product is. People don't care about how good you are. They only care if you are able to speak to their needs or to their interests. All right, everyone really needs to understand this principle if you are really interested in getting people to like you. Now, why do you want people to like you? As already mentioned, a variety of different reasons. Okay, you might want to go and get into a relationship. You might want to go and close a big sale. You might want to go and convince your board of directors to go and give you something. But whatever it is, they don't care about how good your product is. They don't care whether you're rich or poor. They only care whether or not you can speak in their language, whether you can address their need or their interest. Now, I'll give you a very, very good analogy, and immediately you will go and see it. Okay. Now, a lot of hardware companies, right, who sell IT accessories, they go and say, buy this memory stick. It has 1 GB of memory. Now, if you were to go and tell this to other people, right, most people will not buy it. Why? Because it doesn't speak to their need or interest. Instead, why don't we go and flip it around and go and say this instead? Yeah, okay. This memory stick can store 300 of your favorite songs. Now, immediately, people can relate already. Why? Because you are giving them a reason to care. You're talking in terms which they can understand. This is something they're interested in. This is something they need. All right. Now, telling people about the technical advantages of a product doesn't mean anything to them. They don't care. They only care about how it can benefit them or if it is something within their realm of interest. So this is a very, very important principle which I need all of you to go and take away today. All right, of course, okay, understanding the law of connection is one thing we all have to work on in the long term. But today, I'm going to give all of you 3 gifts, things we can start doing now to become more likable, in addition to producing oxytocin by yourself, in addition to learning how to love yourselves better. All right, in addition to learning about the law of connection, I'll give you 3 technical things which you can start doing now to become more likable. And over here, I'm relying very heavily on this very wise person. His name is Dale Carnegie. All right, he's the author of How to Win Friends and Influence People. Fortunately for all of you, I've done the research already. I've double-checked his work. And over here, I would like to go and show you guys 3 things here, okay? First one is think before criticizing and complain less. Number 2, give sincere and honest appreciation to anyone you meet. And number 3, please smile and remember people's names. All right, now last week, if you joined my lesson, I spoke about body language, appreciative language, how to go and feel confident about yourself, and how to go and help people feel important. So now, to avoid a repeat of last week, I'm not going to talk about all of this today. Instead, I'm going to go and talk about these 3 today, all right? So now, if we are ready, let's go ahead. Now, likable people, people who are very magnetic, people who are really attractive, they rarely criticize and they don't complain at all. All right, so now over here, let me go and tell you the story about this gentleman. All right, who can recognize him? Of course, he is the very famous Abraham Lincoln, generally agreed to be one of the best presidents in the United States. Yeah, okay. Now, Abraham Lincoln is a very attractive fellow. Everyone rallies behind his cause. Everyone agrees that he's a great leader. And generally speaking, towards the end of his days, he never complained. But this wasn't always like that. When he was younger, as a lawyer, he wrote very, very, very sharp and harmful letters to his opponents. He would like to go and diss people. He would like to go and complain about people and criticize other people. And he got into big trouble with this politician called James Shield. He got into huge trouble with this guy. He wrote a letter and published it in the newspapers, okay, laughing about James Shield. And this got him into huge trouble because James Shield actually challenged him to a duel, guys. All right, and over here, okay, Abraham Lincoln was just a lawyer. He didn't know how to go and do gun duels, and he was going to lose. Fortunately, at the last minute, all right, the authorities intervened, and both men didn't have to go and kill each other. Both men didn't have to kill each other. All right, now, but because of that, Abraham Lincoln's entire leadership style changed. In the past, because he criticized so many people, luckily through this life-changing experience, he decided to never criticize anyone again. And he never complained, no matter how badly his generals were doing. Remember, Abraham Lincoln was fighting the Civil War, and a lot of the times, his generals did many, many blunders. And no matter how bad the blunder was, Abraham Lincoln was very determined to never criticize any of them, right? He would instead use reinforcement, right? At least not in public. The worst thing we can do to immediately make people dislike us is to go and criticize people in public or to go and complain in public. If you must, please do it in private, right? Give people the time and the space to go and to correct themselves instead of doing it in a very public avenue, yeah? That will instantly make people dislike you. So now, people ask me, Teacher Kian, all right, generally speaking, when we hang out with you, you have this great vibe and people are drawn to you, all right? A lot of people, I'm very, very grateful and proud to say that I'm well loved and well regarded by a lot of people. And a lot of people ask me, what is your secret to this success? And ladies and gentlemen, there's no special technique. First of all, I'm having a lot of fun, right? I'm having a great time talking to you guys about this topic, which I love. Now, the second thing is that you will realize that I never criticize and I never complain people. And that's what I want to go and share with all of you today. If you want to become likable, stop complaining, stop criticizing in public. If you must, do it in private by journaling, writing a letter, all right? And hopefully, if you feel better after writing it down, you might not even need to go and send off. You might not even need to go and send it off. All right, so now over here, I can go and tell you about all of this research, but that's not the point, right? The point is this, okay? Criticism puts people on the defensive and it puts them into a mood to go and justify themselves. But more than that, all right, more than that, people who are hearing you criticize other people will make a lot of judgment about you. All right, so now starting today, let's criticize less, let's complain less, and let's start to go and see the best in other people, just like our good friend here, Benjamin Franklin, another one of America's great leaders. And Benjamin Franklin, he said this, yeah, he attributed this to his success. I will speak ill of no man, and I will speak the good I know of everybody. All right. And so this is why people who are uplifters, people who are empowerers, they are great leaders because everyone rallies around them. Everyone gathers around them because they focus on speaking good things. All right. Now, Bambi, we have all watched Bambi when we were young, right? And back then, Bambi also said one very, very important principle. The mother rabbit said, if you have nothing good to say nothing at all. And I think that there's something we can immediately take from today. All right, now, why? Okay, why is this so important? It is because, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? If you are a person who likes to criticize other people, it is just a matter of time before you criticize yourself very severely and very harshly. If you think about it, right, okay, all right, the way we talk to ourselves is much worse than the way we talk to other people. It's true. If our friend is having a bad day, we don't kick them when they're down, right? Let's say our friend has lost a big sale. We don't go and say, yeah lah, you're a horrible salesman. Yeah, you gave the customer such a horrible impression. Yeah, you lost this account already. Now you have to work extra hard to go and make up for it. We don't say this to our best friend when they're having a bad day, but we say it to ourselves all the time. We say very, very harsh things to ourselves. Things like, wow, you made a fool out of yourself in front of your boss. Wow, no one loves you. wow, how are you ever going to live past this shame? We say that very, very hurtful things to ourselves all the time. And so if we are criticizing people freely all the time, if we're complaining about people freely all the time, can you imagine what we are saying to ourselves? And so please, starting from today, let's be kinder to everyone else. Let's try to go and see the good in everyone, yeah? Okay. All right. And over here, anyone can criticize, condemn, and complain, but it really takes a lot of self-control. It takes very, very strong character to be understanding and forgiving. All right. And when we start to be understanding, when we start to be forgiving, we develop these very, very valuable attributes called sympathy, tolerance, and kindness. All right. So now step one to making people really like you, to be really attracted to you, is to go and stop criticizing. Start speaking good about people. And over here, let's talk about speaking good about other people. All right. Let's move into the next segment. Let's talk about this. What are the things most people want? Everyone, please contribute in the chat. What do most people want? What do most people want? Some suggestions in the chat box, please. What do most people want? Hey, this comes back to a law of connection, guys, all right? If we don't understand what people want, if we don't understand what people need, all right, how can we speak to them? Roger says wants to be loved. Very good. Excellent. Love is one of them. To be pampered. Very good. Happy. People want to be happy. Okay, how do people get happy? Actually, right, okay, Ghana, Cynthia, and Roger, these are very, very correct. Yeah, okay. Wow, I love the audience. Okay, all of you are very much on point. All of you are very much on point. Okay, very, very good. Now, most participants I speak to, they go and answer these normal ones. Okay, health lah, food lah, sleep money career, sex. All right, now, generally speaking, all of these things are easy to get. Well, not say easy lah, but we are satisfied lah. Okay, we can satisfy ourselves with most of these things. But the thing which people really, really crave for and they cannot get, all right, is this one, feeling important. If you think about it, right, okay, if it's not for health, food, sleep, money, career, sex, everything we are doing on a day-to-day basis is to go and satisfy the need of feeling important. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, okay, I can really tell a lot about a person's behavior and character from the way they go and do things to make themselves feel important. All right. Why do I say this? Okay. For example, if you go to a fast food restaurant and you can go and see the manager of the fast food restaurant yelling at his team members. He's yelling at them. All right. Why is he yelling at them? Why is he putting on such a big show? It is because he needs to feel that authority. He needs to feel significant. That's why he's yelling at them. All right. Now, some other people, when I go to LinkedIn, and I can go and see them go and put out very loving and very positive messages every day, very motivational posters. So now, why are they doing that? Because they also want to go and feel important, and at the same time, they want to go and make other people feel important. So that's why how you make yourself feel important can tell me a lot about your character and your behavior. All right. So now that we know that most people, all right, they can get health, food, sleep, money, career, sex generally very easily, but they are all craving that feeling of being important. We have to go and give it to them. How do we give it to them? We go and give them something called sincere and honest appreciation. Hey, actually, what's this appreciation? Okay, appreciation in Malay is called pengaguman. All right, in Chinese it's called singshan. All right, so now what does this mean? This means that you look at something, you look at the other person, and you find things which you genuinely admire. Now, everyone is better than us in some area. Everyone is better than us in some area. Okay. Now, you are not the best in every aspect of life, right? Okay. For example, maybe Frank is very, very good at understanding human behavior as well. Okay, because he said praise. This tells me that he knows human behavior very well. This is something which I can admire about him. So now the trick here is to see the best in everyone, see how are they better than you, and give them honest admiration for it. Now over here, a lot of people are going to say, hey, Teacher Kian, so are you trying to go and tell me that for people to go and like me, I need to flatter them? Hey, no, there's a huge difference between appreciation and flattery, okay? Now, I'm not telling you to go and flatter people. Why? Because flattery is very, very harmful. And let's take a look at some of the differences. when you give appreciation, right? When you take the time to go and think about other people and how they are adding value to the world, you are being very sincere. Flattery is always forced. You're finding things to say on purpose, right? But appreciation comes from your heart, all right? Appreciation comes from your heart, but flattery comes from your teeth because you don't really believe what you're saying anyway, and you're gritting your teeth to go and say it, right? It's very forced. Now, appreciation is unselfish because you hope to go and make someone happy. You hope to uplift that person. That's why you're giving them appreciation. Now, flattery is always very selfish because you have an ulterior motive. All right. So now the next time you go into a conversation with your prospective customer or when you're dealing with a difficult person, always try to go and look for things which you can appreciate them for. Now, here's the best thing, all right? Appreciating others also make you feel good. So if you're very unsure whether or not this is appreciation or whether this is flattery, always go back to how you feel. When you appreciate other people, you're not only making them feel good, you also go and feel a very, very strong sense of well-being and happiness. All right, so now let's do a little exercise over here. Last week, I told all of you that everyone's favorite topic is themselves. Everyone's favorite topic is themselves because they feel like an expert. All right. Who is the expert on Teacher Ken? It is me. Of course, it is me. No one else in the world is more qualified to talk about Teacher Ken than me. So everyone's favorite topic is themselves. A large part of getting people to like you is getting people to talk about themselves and encouraging them to continue talking. And in the meantime, all right, continue to go and appreciate it. Continue to enjoy yourself as well. All right. You will realize that people are really, really attracted to you if you can get them to talk about themselves. And over here, let's do a little exercise over here. All right, let's look at this gentleman. Okay, I want all of you to go and find some things we can appreciate about him. Let's see whether we can go and find 5 things to appreciate about him. All right, come. What are 5 things we can appreciate about him? So now for me, okay, I'm a person which doesn't have a lot of hair. One thing which I can definitely go and say is, wow, okay, I really admire your full head of hair. Right? So now that's what I would go and say to him. Can you go and please tell me how? Because I am losing hair. I really, really like it that you have so much hair, right? Okay, yes. So Amanila says, yes, you have a very nice watch. Okay, you must be very proud of it. Can you tell me how you got it? All right, what else can we admire about this person? So now our first instinct is to go and be repulsed, right? We can go and say, wow, this guy is, a bit on the heavy side. And he still has so much food in front of him and so much sugary food. He doesn't love himself. That's what a lot of people will think. But that type of thinking is not going to make you any likable, right? We need to go and find things to be appreciative about him. So what else can we admire about him, guys? Come, type in the chat. Look at his eyes. Look at his mouth. Is he having a good time or not? Is he having a good time? Yes, that's right. Thank you, 0174. Mr. Chen, is it? Chen Yongke, is it? All right. Yes, your smile is comforting. Thank you so much, Cynthia. Thank you so much, Mr. Chen. All right. He is very happy. Your smile is very comforting. It's true though, as plus size as he is, right? As heavy as he has a smile which is very comforting. You're right. Both of you are absolutely correct, right? You can straight away go and tell this person, oh, I'm so glad to be with you today. I'm so glad to be talking with you today because you put me in a very comforted mood. Thank you so much for this. And then he will start talking about himself very, very easily. Now, what else can we admire about him? So watch, okay? A lot of hair, a very good and comforting smile. What else? What else? Are we struggling to go and find things to admire about him? Come, let's talk about the surroundings, all right? The environment. Okay, now over there, he has a lot of books. That's right. Thank you, Amalina. Wow, you have a lot of books. So you can go and say something like, I never had the discipline. All right, I never had the discipline to get into reading myself. Could you go and tell me, all right, how are you so focused? You seem to really, really like books. Yes, you must love to read. Can you go and share some of that with me? Right? Can you go and tell me about some of the books you love? Right? Yes, there we go. So then, okay, over here, right? It is very, very easy to go and get into an appreciative mood when you really start to go and stop thinking about yourself all the time, start to appreciate the other person, and you will feel yourself radiating a lot of love and oxytocin as well. right? So it is a continuous process. When you start to appreciate other people, when you start to appreciate the opportunity of talking with other people, let me go and remind you guys again, okay? You produce something called oxytocin and you are incapable of feeling nervous, right? You just enjoy yourself. And before knowing it, the other person is talking to you about their family, their background, their childhood. And when they're in such a receptive mood, it is really, really easy for you to go and sell ideas or to go and sell products to them, yeah? All right, good. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, everyone. That was a very good exercise. And over here, we can also talk about, he's holding a remote control. Probably he enjoys watching movies, right? Hey, wow, you seem to be able to enjoy yourself. I have trouble relaxing all the time. Can you go and tell me some things you do to go and help yourself relax? All right, yeah, things like that. All right, awesome. Now let's go to the third and final tip which you can do today to go and start making people really, really like you, okay? To go and start being really, really magnetic to people. And over here, we really don't smile enough, guys. And over here, the Chinese have a very, very, very wise saying. They say that 和气生财，无笑脸某开店. Now, what does this mean? This means that when you are smiling, okay, it is very easy for you to generate wealth, okay? And a man without a smiling face must not open a shop. And I think that this is very simple, but very, very correct. And you think about it, right? Okay, you might think that it is easy to smile to your customer. It is easy to go and smile to your board of directors. But guys, really think about it. When you go home, do you smile at your children? Do you smile at your wife? Do you smile at your girlfriend? Do you smile at your parents? Do you smile at your parents? Not always. And starting from today, really, we need to go and start smiling more because people who smile tend to manage, teach, and sell more effectively. And over here, this is the important one. If you can give a genuine smile, you will realize that your sales are going to go up by a lot. Why? Because when you're smiling, okay, people will go and think that you don't have an agenda. You don't have an agenda. You're just here because you're very glad to go and meet that person. You're very glad, you're very happy. And over here, it comes back to this second very golden rule. Today, I'm talking about two very golden rules, okay? Number one, the law of connection. Stop talking about how good you are and how good your company is. No one cares. No one cares, okay? People only care about whether or not you can serve them, whether or not you can meet their needs, whether or not you can meet their interests, right? So now, starting from today, everyone needs to go and link your products, link your strengths to how you can go and serve other people's needs. Don't guess their needs, okay? Really have a genuine conversation with them to go and find out what they need, all right? And number two, you must have a good time meeting people if you want them to have a good time meeting you. You really need to understand these two principles, okay, guys? Be happy, and when people are with you, they will be happy. Now, of course, there will be people who are determined to be upset no matter how happy you are. No matter how much you appreciate them, no matter how much you give them sincere and honest praise, they will be unhappy. Why? Because these are people who are already determined to be upset. So now, how do you go and sway? How do you go and influence someone who is already determined to be miserable and upset? The only way you can influence someone is by first changing your own behaviors. If you're too concerned about how they feel, you are not paying attention to how you feel. And this is something I spoke about last week, right, with body language. We shouldn't be too concerned with other people's body language because we have to take care of our own body language. Just keep up the energy, keep up the enthusiasm, keep encouraging them to talk about themselves. All right? Be happy, enjoy yourself, and very soon you will see people opening up to you. Let me go and tell you this, okay? When I was in physical training, I've never met a participant which I failed to convert. Every participant, no matter how reluctant they are to go and come to my classes, all right, I can go and convert them. Why? Am I trying to change them? No, I am only trying to change myself. Now, you will go to a lot of online webinars and you'll go to a lot of workshops where the speaker is always saying things like, oh, why you guys never go and turn on your video camera? Why is there no response in the chat room? Wow, you guys are very cold. Okay, this is a very unengaging class. That is called projecting your insecurities and your needs to other people. No, that is called being needy. No one likes a needy person. All right, just manage your own energy and people will turn around. All right, don't worry about other people. You worry about your own energy first. So please have a good time. All right, then people will have a good time meeting you. So now, what if you don't feel like smiling? Ladies and gentlemen, okay, science has shown already, if you force yourself to smile, very soon the good feelings will come. All right, when you act like you're happy, that will tend to make you happy. This is not law of attraction, okay? This is not law of attraction. This is science, okay? This is oxytocin speaking. When you act like you're happy, automatically your brain will start producing dopamine and oxytocin. All right, this is not law of attraction. This is science, okay? And secondly, you need to have a mental attitude. If you're relying on other people to make you happy, wow, that's going to be a one-way ticket to misery, okay? It is you who makes yourself happy, not outward conditions. You can be happy today without that 1 million. You can be happy today without that girlfriend, guys. Okay, it all depends on you, how you look at things. All right, very importantly, I'm going to give you guys 3 presents over here. Number 1, don't fear being misunderstood. If people want to misunderstand you, that's it. All right, I mean, it's up to them. All right, don't fear being misunderstood. Say what you want to say, be happy while doing it. Don't waste your time thinking about your enemies. They're not worth your time, all right? There are a lot of people who love you. Why don't you go and spend some time thinking about them instead, all right? And very, very importantly, okay, know where you're heading, have your goals, have your objectives, and think of all the great and splendid things you will do on the way to your goals, yeah? All right, now, very importantly, a last point over here. I'm not going to talk too long because we are already at 10 o'clock. But really, guys, okay, you have to go and remember names. If there's one skill which people always going to ask me, what is the personal development thing which I need to learn now? What is the number 1 personal development skill I need to learn now? If it is, I always say self-love, learn to love yourself because then people will love you as well. But if people already know how to love themselves, I will go and tell them, invest in memory training, which I do. All right, I go and teach you how to go and remember people's names very easily. But this is the number 1 skill we all need to learn. Okay, and Napoleon has a 4-step process over here. Okay, the way to go and remember people's name is that when people tell you their name, you can always go and say, "Hey, I'm so sorry, I didn't go and hear it correctly." Or maybe you can go and say something like, "Hey, Anik, how do I pronounce your name properly? Can you say it again to me?" All right, then after that, go and tell them, "Wow, that's a very, very lovely name." All right, Wei Kiat, that's a lovely name. How do I spell it? And go and get them to go and spell it for you. All right. Then while you're talking with Wei Kiat or when you're talking to Mr. Ganapati, all right, go and repeat it as much as possible in the conversation and start to go and associate the other person's face with the name. And finally, okay, if you really want to go to extra mile, ask them for their birthdays. I'm going to write it down on your calendar. All right. Most people don't remember each other's birthdays. All right. And if someone remembers my birthday, I feel so important. I feel so important. All right, so now these are the 3 steps. If you would like me to go and teach your team members or your colleagues in a more detailed setting, please let Excel Academy know. All right, I love to go and teach people techniques to go and remember names, but this is the very basic way to go do it. Yeah. Okay, all right. So now Amalina has reminded me about a lobster story, but unfortunately we have run out of time. We are going to go into, let's go and finish up this session and see whether people want to go and stay behind for the lobster story. All right, so now, law of connection, why is it important? It is because when you learn how to go and build strong rapport, how to build deep connections with people, how to get people to like you, then it is just a very easy method to go and excel in sales, marketing, and customer experience. All right, to go and lead people, to communicate with your team members, to have a very happy and wholesome family and parenting. All right. And you're going to feel better as well because you are starting to connect with yourself. You're starting to understand your own needs. And of course, right, as an employer, you know what candidates want, or as a job hunter, you know what employers want. But if you ask me what I'm really passionate about, it's all of this, yeah. Over here, I teach you how to become likable, how to understand human behavior so that you can go and do all of this effortlessly. You will see a lot of great results very soon when you learn to love yourself, and when you learn to love yourself, people love you. It's very easy to go and sell them ideas and products. Yeah. All right. So now here we are at the Q&A session. I'm going to hand it back to Excel Academy over here. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and unmute yourself, or you can go and type in the chat. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much everyone for coming today. I'm really grateful for this opportunity to go and share what I know after so many years. And if you have any question, please go ahead and go and ask me. Yeah. Otherwise than that, I'm going to hand it back to Chiu. All right. So now I hope that you guys found this session helpful. I didn't know questions. Did I do such a good job? Wow. Okay, I'm very pleased with myself then. Okay, guys. All right. Now, getting other people to like you, right? Okay, getting people to go and like you is a complex science. All right. There are many, many steps. All right. But some of the things we can do starting today is to really go and start loving yourself a bit more. When you love yourself, all right, you produce a very, very strong magnetic field. And really, I tell you, guys, okay, I for many, many years as an educator, as a licensed guru basar, right, I really go very strongly on research. You will see me talking about a lot of science. And I generally try not to go and talk about the law of attraction. But really, recently, I've read so many research articles which seem to go and validate it. Yeah, we really do have a magnetic field around us, and people really do feel better when our magnetic field is very strong. Yeah, okay. So first things first, produce oxytocin. People can go and sense that oxytocin in you. Right. Number two, okay, very importantly, speak in terms of other people's needs and wants. Right. They don't care about how great you are. They really care about how you can go and serve them. Yeah, okay. How you can go and address them. All right. Thank you, Cynthia, for addicted to your sessions. I'm glad to go and get that dopamine running you. Thank you, Mr. Ganapati. All right. Thank you, Yonker. Thank you, Gayatri. And Frank, yes, I believe that you can go and find part 1 in Excel Academy's Facebook page, right? Over there, I talk about body language. Over there, I talk about using appreciative language, how to go and build confidence. And over there, I think I also talk about, what else was it? I also talked about let's skip behind. Also I talked about how to go and help other people feel important, right? Yep. So you can go and see all of this in the first part. Yep, on their Facebook page. So now, guys, okay? Now, when you are able to attract people into a receptive mood, when they're receptive to your ideas, right? And when they're receptive to your products, if you're genuinely interested in serving them and their needs, you realize that it's very easy to go and sell things. So now, recently, okay, a lot of people are trying to go and teach me techniques, right? Like for example, all right, if you want people to go and buy C product, if you want people to go and buy C product, you should go and arrange it ABC, and people will go and buy the last one C. All right, come on, those are techniques which might be useful now and then. But if you are not interested in getting to know the other person, if you're not interested in addressing their needs, if you're not interested in helping them elevate their pain points, all those are just techniques. Those are just techniques, right? Now, you need to go and have a sincere sense of appreciation for other people. You need to enjoy yourself in the sales process. And then you'll find that your entire experience evolves. Yeah. Oh, but the first thing you can start doing from today, stop complaining and stop criticizing people in public, okay? If you must do it, go back and journal about it, write it on a letter, write it in a WhatsApp, and you might find that after writing it out, you don't even feel like sending it anyway, yeah? Okay? All right, so now I hope that this session has been very useful to you. All right, I hope that you have a very, very lovely Friday. And I'm glad to go and see all the very flattering comments in the chat box, yeah? All right? Thank you, everyone. Produce more oxytocin, that's right, okay? Imagine yourself hugging money. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself hugging money and imagine your heart expanding, your arteries expanding. That feeling is called oxytocin. That's the oxytocin feeling. All right, so I hand it back over to Excel Academy. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me, yeah?
Okay, thank you, Teacher Ken. Thank you, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed the session. But before we end, can I share the screen?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, can you guys scan for this QR code to give some review so that we can improve in the future? Just I give you all 2 to 3 minutes. If you all done, can leave. Okay, thank you, everyone. Stay safe. Bye. Bye, Teacher Ken.
Okay, thanks guys. I had a lovely time and I hope to go and see you guys in the more formal training. Yeah. All right. If you need formal training of this nature, do contact Excel Academy. And I'm very grateful for the chance to go and speak to you guys today. See you guys. Bye. Have a great weekend.
Bye.